Okay. Test that. Okay, yeah, the microphone is working. The screen. I want to see. I got a whole fucking TV set right here. They could already hear I'm cussing the storm. This is late night. Well, it's not even late night. Shoot.
Right. Well, it's late in the versus world, but
Right,
we got
yeah.
stuff to do in the morning.
But, regional.
Had to come see good people. Let them know what happened today.
Okay, we're gonna do an introduction. If you can hear us, we're gonna do an introduction. We just gotta make sure that people actually see us.
Right.
It's embarrassing to have a whole thing nobody can hear you or nothing. Like, what really is your life about? Let's see. There we go. Is that it? We on there? Okay. Let's get down with it. Okay, so we know something going. So in the background, we just gonna play our game and maybe a few more of the games that were recorded. So you won't hear no sound. We'll be talking about this, but we're gonna recap today's event. So if you don't know, or if you've been living under a rock, we are at the So I can't see the chat. So if y'all chatting in there, let me see if I can. No, I can't bring it on TV. I use my phone. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, this is Ohio Regional Weekend.
That's right.
So today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, well, just assume everything is Eastern Standard Time because that's where real life happens.
Well, at least it's where life happens first.
Right. All right. Well, let's do the introduction. Okay, let's get a little professional. We actually sitting some recliners at the house.
Yeah.
We got our shoes on. We just chilling. So first of all, David D. Robin Judge. So you can call me Judge, or you can call me David the Judge Robin. Say the whole thing each and every time.
Say it again.
Who is that? She said David the Judge Robin. And then of course, I'll let my man introduce himself. You know, you heard him around.
Yeah, you got Tevin, DBlackknight Campbell, not related to the singer. You're one half of the Plot Twisters, you know, little podcast we got going on there. And happy to be here. Just playing cards, playing verses, having fun, getting with the community. So,
okay. So I got a headset. I started talking about what happened before I introduce it. We got the one person in me watching right now. Some people probably don't even know this is going on, even a thing. They're like, we probably watched these games already, but here we are. But people probably watch it later. I mean, we still getting set up. We just got done eating some dinner, some Sonic.
Yes.
We got the icy, so if you hear drinking. We just getting some fluids back in the system.
That's right.
All right, so this weekend, Ohio Regional. Today was the draft, 4 p.m. real time. We're not gonna call it Eastern Time, we're gonna call it real time. 4 p.m. We did a draft event. We had 17 total people at part of the draft part of it, but then Scott cars end up dropping out just so we could have 16 people, and also so we didn't bump up from 4 rounds to 5 rounds.
Yeah, no man. He wanted to make sure nobody had a bye and that we didn't have to play 5 rounds. So hats off to you, Scott.
Then we had 16 player. Buckeye showed out well. We love to see that. Team Apex was there, and Let's Get Dangerous.
Yep, it's good representation from a lot of different groups. There was a lot of people there. It was for a side event.
Buckeye, Apex, Let's Get Dangerous, and then I guess Diego and his brother. Yeah. They just Diego and his brother, right?
Right. Yeah.
Don't worry. So we had a draft. So as y'all know, I don't play in the main event, so I get to focus more on the side events. And since Scott's playing tomorrow, he decided to sit out. So let me run through the rules of the draft real quick. So the way the draft work is, we took all the MCs that have an X-Men, Brotherhood, Fantastic Four, or Frightful stamp on each level, and put them all into the pool. That's like 60 characters. And we did throw in a new MC that was just released on Wednesday. But you could not use any card from that box. Since we didn't have enough product for everybody to get a box, we just decided to use the MCs. Mm-hmm. And then the way we did, we randomly we put everybody's name on index cards. We shuffle the index cards face down, and one at a time we flip them, and you make your vote. So you don't know where you at in this turn when you're making your vetoes or where your pick at, because we reshuffle in between each round. So we're gonna discuss these vetoes. So going into there was some clear cuts who I know I plan on veto, who Tevin plan on veto. So we're gonna go through this list. I got them in order. So the first veto was an incurred Magneto from the House of X. Obvious choice.
That's
Yes.
obvious. That's a good veto if you're trying to make sure that you have a chance, seeing the pool. So he obviously had to go. It was a great first choice.
Okay.
Can't
I don't remember who made these choices, but thumbs up whoever made this choice. And then the number two. He's number two in this list. He was number one on my list.
Yes.
The new Galactus.
Yeah, and if you don't know, now you know. Go read the card and come back, and you will see why he should have been number one, but I'll take him at number two.
And like I said, if you watch it on the screen and you see the MC I played, they were pretty. So we both got our top MCs going into this. So if you look at the MC I was playing, you obviously know why I won Galactus. I didn't take Galactus. I actually had that last pick in the Beat Stove round. And then the next pick was Invisible Woman, the original Fantastic Four one. I can understand this pick. People don't like seeing people hide, and like I said, with Monarch. So the only two banned cards today were Max Smith and Senator Kelly. So I get with Monarch online, I could accept this. Right. Yeah, with Monarch, somebody.
It made sense, but it's funny because like everybody's been thinking about incursion decks and all the rest of the stuff, and so you haven't been seeing her around, and then the new one makes you think like, should I be going for her or the new one? But it's still a strong choice. Like you said, the card pool supports all of her shenanigans and more. So it's only 40 minutes around. I ain't trying to go through all that.
Right. So now number 4, Mr. Fantastic is a new one. If I had 2 number 1s on my list, he would have been up there. I mean, a turn 1 inventor. I mean, with 12 looks. I mean,
what more needs to be said?
And don't worry about him. He may be a little sad now, but he'll be all right tomorrow when he get action.
You're gonna see some action tomorrow. So.
All right. So the next one we had Norn Red. This felt pretty personal.
It should have felt personal. It was definitely personal.
I mean, he made a pic looking me dead in the eye and said, "Silver Surfer." Looking me dead in the eye, like dare you to say something.
That is funny. And I think that's part of some of the strategy too, because people were campaigning for vetoes before we even did the draft and started taking them out of there. So it always made you think, do you want me to pick this because you really don't want it, or you want me to overlook it, or whatever it is? But everybody knew that Dave cannot get Surfer. So
we do have a video of the draft, like I said, with sound and stuff. So I will be posting on the channel later, but we just want to give you something while it's still fresh on my mind. Like I said, we just played maybe about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours,
pretty recent. So
the last round was at 8.
Yep.
So Marvel Girl, she was nowhere on my list.
Yeah, I don't think she was anywhere on anyone's list. I looked at that as more of a panic pick. They were looking around, didn't see anything, and then just saw the 5 and was like, you know what, let me take her. Not to say she don't got game, because she does. We've seen it. She's been successful in the last at Gen Con in the incursion. But I think for this format that we were doing, I don't know if she's on anybody's radar.
She probably would have got picked, maybe, but there were other things that should have went. Just remember Marvel Girl would pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th pick.
6th pick.
And let's go with the 7. You'll see some of these other picks, like, no, she don't go before then.
Right.
And if you know the MC, you probably thinking, like, where is so-and-so? Where is Kate Pride?
Yeah. She ain't there.
So another turn 1 event and another current MC, Dr. Doom.
Now, this was a personal jab, I feel. Even though I knew he had to go, I thought he would stick around or get picked later because there were still, in my opinion, bigger threats than him. Even though, as you can see by my choice of playmat, your boy was going to be bringing the pain. So.
Okay, so number 8. God Emperor Doom.
So it was back-to-back Dooms slayings, I had to pour one out for my boy afterwards. But the God Emperor Doom is not a joke. But he might have been a lot of work to make work, but if you put the time in, it probably would have paid off. But I guess we'll never know.
Never know. Number 9, the old Galactus. I think this was a reach for this draft,
Mm-hmm.
personally. I mean, he got game. I mean, but I guess, people may got, like I said, some of these MC had touched people in the wrong way.
Right.
And like I said, you don't know what they did. You go over them, you see them thinking, like, what did he touch you?
Right. When did he hurt you, little boy or girl? Like, yeah.
Is he eating more than just planets?
And that's the thing, too, right? You see him and you're like, well, 8 health is 8 health, right? So it's respectable for that. But there's still a lot of setup that goes into making him work. And, for this draft, you had to bring your pre-constructed decks. So, or I should say deck or decks. So it would be as much work or as little as you put in, or if you had a strategy. But I didn't think anybody'd be planning for Galactus with the options that were out there. But, that's not for us to know.
All right, so going back to that Marvel at 6, now we have Kate Pride. This is your pick, right?
No, I did not pick Kate Pride.
Okay.
But I think I went next. But
okay.
But Kate Pride was only I didn't go next. No. But Kate Pride was picked after we started saying, is Kate Pride still a thing? Because she was just chilling in the second row with her little handbag like nobody even saw her.
So just to let everybody know, I just had all the level 1 MCs out. Mm-hmm. So you only see level 1. Maybe nobody recognizes level 1. I had no excuse. There's no excuse. Just because he's been curled for so long. If you haven't been testing player-wise, like after you played 2 Invincible and Curl over the last 4 or 5 months, you start forgetting that these cards that in Curl, they actually still exist in real life.
Right. Yeah, because she hasn't made it out of anybody's play box in a long time.
And we also, when we go over our deck list, especially I know for Tevin list, we're going to talk about cards that I had to remind him exist in this game.
Yes.
So next we have X-23. Yeah. I mean, this is a team. I'm pretty sure Vern picked this.
Vern picked it.
This is a Team Apex stample card. Yeah. So they're like, no, nobody gonna be healing all game, and with the new Eggman stuff. So
get him up out of here.
The new Invisible Woman.
That's who I picked.
Okay, got you. Yeah, all of that.
And that was just a hate pick because in testing with my brother, I hated every game we played trying to go up against her. Cancel your strikes. And I figured if the first one's gone, she's got to go too. Because if somebody put up a wall of, what is it? A wall of force or whatever it's called up against me, it'll be trouble. We don't have enough time to break it down.
The green with the 12 activators to cancel a combat.
Right. And being on a team with some real dangerous people. So, Daredevil, anyone,
So the new Deadpool, I thought this was, he's pretty good though. I do like him a lot. But that other thing that should have went, like the one, MC that I lost to that should have went before him. I think a lot of MCs should go before the MC. But that's a whole different story for a different day. Maybe I'm a little sorry. I'm a little sorry.
You can hear it a little bit, You got your right.
There's some resource road thing that would be me, we'll talk about that later. We're doing a recap. So then we got Mystique. This was Chris's pick. He was going to pick the new Mystique. Right. We're like, if you're going to pick a Mystique, you pick this one.
And he did it right in front of Jose, who used Mystique to win Gen Con. So
this is not even that one.
Oh, no, that's not the right one. Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is the one that get the pluses. So you play dude on Lambert on turn 3, and he gets like 28 pluses, level. So there's somebody, this guy got rid of Molecule Man.
Yes.
So nobody was trying to hear about animated decks.
No, not at all. It's a thing. Get Fracture Family and you'll find out.
Like I said, you will play animated decks on your time, not on our time.
Not on our time.
There's 2 more left. So the Metal Human Torch was a huge,
Yes. I don't know how that happened.
Right.
But it did.
So I got 1 MC left, but I had the last pick. And the last MC was the new House of Air Professor. And why is he still on the board?
Yeah, he almost snuck through. Right. It should have been a tandem, like a tag team duo. You get Magneto, you get the new Professor X. It should have been 1 and 2.
Maybe Galactus.
Yeah, well, Galactus stood out, but nobody's going to let Galactus go all the way through. That's one of those things where somebody's going to get him. But
it mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Band MC.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would have. If you want to watch the video, if you all into the versus, well, if you are here, you're clearly all into that versus stuff.
Right.
But if you really want to see more, I am going to put that draft up. You'll hear us talking. You hear all the joking, and you'll probably hear voices and stuff. So yeah. So now so let's get to our picks. So I don't have a list of picks because I will focus on building a deck. So but I got the first pick. So my number one pick was the old Wolverine, which you see me playing on the screen now. I had a deck that actually Tevin worked on me with this deck. So we came up with this idea. Was it Etherman winner?
It was after.
No, after House of X.
Yeah, because we played it. After House of X.
Yeah, after House of X, really, we were playing. We came up with an idea because his bud was just getting in the game around that time.
Yep.
And he played Wolverine like, man, what we would say like, man, Wolverine so bad. Like, wait, look, let me make a deck. And then I thought about it and I came up with this idea. I'm like, with all the plot twists they have now, do you need characters? Mm-hmm. So we actually built a bunch of X-Men.
Yeah, we did. We tried to find out which one would work.
In Brotherhood.
Yep.
So we took I took 4 X-Men and 2 Brotherhood. He took 4 X-Men and 2 Brotherhood, and we made all these decks. None of them played support characters, or maybe like one support character.
Right.
But, yeah. Only 2 end up panning out like somewhat competitive, and being Wolverine and Colossus.
Right. And I took the Colossus build and did everything I could with that because, once you bump his attack up, he can stay at a higher amount. And then you just kept using the plot twist to support that. And Dave had made the Wolverine. And with the addition that you got from House of X in terms of the equipment and the plot twist, he ended up being a bad boy.
Quick time out, though. Mm-hmm. Look who's chat. Guess who's not here? Hey, Jamil, how's it going?
Glad you can tune in. How's the couch? But yeah, we were they were glass cannon decks. If anybody plays like RPGs or anything like that, and you use a character that's just all attack, nothing else. That's basically what these decks were. So
like I said, Colossus got bigger than Wolverine, but Wolverine with his level 3 could play. He said, "F y'all."
Thanks for keeping it sensitive, buddy.
But so Wolverine could pay the green, and he got the killing frenzy on level 3. Was he could do a lot of damage, but with the plot twist, I mean, you got a lot of options. How we had to play MC. So so that's what we end up so that I ended up going with. So but the only change, so like I said, I've been playing this so since House of X, so that about 6 months ago at least. 6 months I've been playing it on and off, testing it. So I put it part to a couple of local events. So like I said, some of the local people were familiar with the deck, but actually came back to haunt me in this event badly.
Significantly.
Right. But the key thing I changed, like, you know what? I had played my friend Earl, one of my, best testing partners right now. Nothing against you, Tevin, but but he got number one in the.
He's definitely better than me. I'll give it.
But he was putting walls on the table. I'm like, I can't clear this walls. Why can't I clear this walls?
Right. You got one card shutting you down.
So I ended up putting 3 Deadpools in the deck. Man, that was the greatest decision I ever made.
And I tell you what, it was a game time decision too, because originally he had the Banshees in for the days, but then he thought about it and he was like really debating and said, well, Deadpool's got 2 health. Deadpool will give me 2 strikes. I can clear 2 things possibly, and get a lot more versatility and utility out of Deadpool as a player. So he put it in.
Yeah, I think the only stat I think if there was a stat keeping for this deck, I think I'm the first person to play a loaded deck through a whole tournament and never make a team attack. Yeah.
You pulling up all those obscure facts like this.
On the Wednesday, the third Sunday. All right, so enough about my deck. Let's talk about Tevin deck. So let's just update people real quick because people may not be aware. Right now, we all sitting in the same location.
Okay, yeah.
But in real life, he live in Buffalo. I live in Cincinnati. So I'm about 45 minutes from Dayton, where the event in Epic Centerville. So Tevin, we allow him to stay at our house.
Yes.
Welcome to the facilities.
I might not leave, y'all. Of my own free will, I'm telling you, I might stay, dog.
Welcome to the facilities.
It's nice up here in the compound.
So we come back for the night. He already got his deck for tomorrow, so we have free time. Like, let's do the screen tonight. So so that's why we here. It sounds like we're in the same room because we are in the same room. But go ahead with your day, guys.
Yeah, so it's thanks, Dave. I was trying to think of, all right, who is an MC that I can count on still being there but can still give me some game. Now, I took a Magneto build to Gen Con for the incursion, and I really liked the way it played. I just lost the combo decks, and you just lose some of those games. But the thing was, it had like the perfect mix, in my opinion, of Brotherhood and of X-Men characters, all the utility ones you would want to see that we could use. And I was like, if I can get a rendition of that combination and get either get a Brotherhood character that is still viable, then I think I'm going to be good. So then I was looking at the draft, and I'm like, you can start to guesstimate who's going to be gone, who's not going to be there. And I was like, you know what? I could go for Avalanche. Now, in my mind, I'm still thinking incursion style building. So like I build for an Avalanche deck, but I didn't include any of the incurred cards. So I was like, all right, I have this build. I was thinking I had Avalanche in mind, but I had two other Brotherhood characters that I was going to try and use. Sabretooth if I couldn't get Avalanche. And I forgot Toad, if he was still around, because I was going to be on colors with Toad because I took the yellows out from Magneto and put in the greens. So when I got my turn, Avalanche was still there. So I was like, you know what? Let me take them. But before that, when I was thinking about building and I was practicing and kind of showing Dave what I was thinking about, he opened one of his folders and I started seeing like all the old cards. And he was talking about like Nullifier and stuff like that. And I was like a light bulb went off. I'm like, oh shit, you can put all this stuff back in your deck. So I immediately got all my Icemans. I immediately got Darkhold, all the Nullifier, all the staples that you would play with if there weren't restrictions in place. And I threw them in the deck. And the real struggle that I had was, I was playing Secondary Mutation, and when I played in Gen Con, if I had another Magma, there are some games that I could have won. But then I was also thinking like, all right, all these cards open up. Should I splash away from the X-Men and Brotherhood loyalty and scrap the Secondary Mutation and play something else, or keep it in? I ended up keeping it in, and it ended up working out for me in some scenarios. But I was able to make some cuts in some areas to add that pivotal equipment back in. And some of it was a game changer. Like when you watch this game, you'll see it ended up being very, very important. And those changes helped me find success on the day.
All right, so to answer one of our listeners, you may know him as Jamil. How do the draft work?
So the way the draft works.
So he did not come in at the beginning of this video, clearly.
Right.
But I'll let you take it this time.
Yeah, so the way that the draft worked was we had all the MCs that were available for X-Men, Brotherhood, Fantastic, and Frightful, including the new Frightful Foes. You could use the MCs. You could not use any cards in the Fracture Family box Frightful Foe box, because there wasn't enough product for everybody to be able to have access to them. First round, we wrote down the 17 names on index cards, mixed them up, or shuffled them, and then you would draw a name, and that person would veto a card from the selection pool. So whoever they chose, that person was removed from the pool, could not be drafted. After all 17 people made their choice, the cards were reshuffled, and then your card was pulled, and then you got to draft an MC from the viable pool. So everyone knew who all the MC possibilities were going to be prior to coming to the draft. The only thing you didn't know is who was still going to be left on the table after the veto round.
And also, since we didn't got on film, we had it laid out on the table, so the MC was spread out on the table. Right. So it wasn't like you had to guess. It was a table. When somebody vetoed it, we pulled it off the table. When somebody draft, so you were clearly looking at the power of the MC, the 60 MC, 60 plus MCs.
Yeah, so you could see everybody was out there who was left, and and then we went through. It went pretty smooth and efficiently, and then we went and had 30 minutes to deck build.
So the last thing I want to point out, I didn't mention this, but so Woman was my first choice, but I did have a backup plan. So I didn't go with a deck. I had 9 cards in the sleeve.
Yeah.
I had 4 unwavering loyalties, 4 stand togethers, and a nullifier.
Yeah.
Because I was building a loyalty deck. So my options were I was going to either build Wolverine with number 1, Surfer with number 2,
Yep.
either one of the beasts.
Yep.
Was a viable option. I mean, if you see my beast deck, that will put in work.
Yeah, you see that Blackbird dropping now, it's just a problem. So
The new thing, I kind of looked at that as well. And I would did some Fightful stuff. I had options, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put a deck together. How do that differ from the draft crew? So Jamil, we only drafted MCs. So this is not like this. So this is a Buckeye draft. This is nothing like the draft. He wasn't in the second draft, right?
he wasn't. No, he wasn't there for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is nothing like the draft at Gen Con. We just drafted MCs. Once you drafted MC, but if we about to go over now, then you built your deck. So you could have came with your deck
Right.
pre-built, hoping you get the MC you built for.
Right.
Or there was 30-minute time. You could have built your deck there on the spot with whatever cards you brought with you or you were able to get from somebody.
Yeah, generally when you do a draft, you draft all the cards that you're going to be playing, period, and then generally construct a 40-card deck.
So this is a lot closer to the Buckeye League. So this draft was a lot closer to the Buckeye League, except the veto part was the only different. But this is a lot more like the Buckeye draft, where it was just MC. So want to go with my deck list?
Yeah.
So so I had Wolverine. So like I said, I had those 9 cards where they stuck in the deck. So so like I said, my Wolverine. So location, I did a 4. I'm going off the head, so it may not. Don't quote me on this.
Judge, we need a deck list check. Hold up.
That David Duck Judge out there say the whole thing each and every time. Well, so location 4 School of Gifters.
Yep.
4 the reds, and I only run 2 greens. So the key about this deck is what I do is most time I did a lot more today than I normally do, but most time unless I'm playing a location, I am not playing a resource.
Right.
Because the only card that I need a resource for is the Nullifier and Deadpool. That's the only thing I can recruit. So so then my locations, that was 10 locations. 3 Power Cosmic was in there. 4 Unwavering, 4 Stand Together, 4 X Factors, 4 Secondary Mutation, 3 Concealed Firearms, 3 Power Cosmic. Yeah, I just said 3 Power Cosmic. I'm probably going to be repeating stuff. 4 Good Hands, 4 Defend the Weak, 4 this and that. Secondary mutation. 3. I only had 3 uniforms in there. I already said a nullifier, and I had 3. So I almost put in 2 Deadpools, the new Deadpool, but I had 3. Like I said, because that impulse was, like I said, he may have won me a game or 2. But yeah, so like I said, I got 10 locations. I got 8. I run the 8 Wolverine power ups because them powers come in handy against Sage.
Yep.
I mean, Sage is a beast, but
not when
you put power up on him.
Shut it down.
And the game I won, like I said, that my role in my secondary mutation was good early, but I didn't get the greatest thing late. But yeah, so that's the deck. Yeah, so it's a lot of plot twists. So the thing about my deck that it's a little different from normal versus because I only put in location now, so there are not too many wasted resources in my row. So like while you may be at 5 resources, I may be only at 1 resource, but I'm still holding all them cards in my hand. I had already used them. So, but yeah, that's a pretty straightforward deck. I'll probably go more details later, but that's all I'll do for right now. Go ahead and hit them off, Kev.
Yeah, so I went with Avalanche, and like I said, I had a mix of X-Men and Brotherhood, but everything had a purpose, right? So I had Vanisher at 1 to team attack with Avalanche on turn 1 because we would be able to shoot for 5, barring if we had any plot twists. I had Iceman for the freezes, Lorelei so you could play more aggressive because anytime she's in an attack, she gets to choose where you take 2 off of, right? It could be 1 and 1, 2 off the front, 2 off the butt. So pretty aggressive at the lows. I had Forge at 3 so that I can invent because that was important. We had 3 of those. I only played 2 Unis, and I took 2 Unis, and then I had Banshee as well. So because sometimes the dazes were going to be important. Unis is a 12-2, so most of the time he can get it done by himself. Had Sage, had 3 Magmas, and that was important to me because I wanted to be sure that if I did that range attack, we can go ahead and shut it down. And then rounding out, I had the Samurai. Yep.
Type.
What is the name?
Silver Samurai.
Yeah, Silver Samurai to pull people to the front, and then Zorn to get rid of any sticky supporting characters that had to go. Plus, he's still an 11-9. The important other parts that I put in was I had 2 X-Men uniforms, the Nullifier, Darkhold, Isosphere. And in my mind, I'm thinking I'm playing Avalanche. I get you to put face down cards. If I can get him leveled and pull off his second power, I'm blowing up your locations. If I quicken with an Isosphere, you should never have enough to beat me in the Power of Wills because I can always blow up the locations that you have, and the locations you were playing should be turned face down if I'm hitting my reds and I'm hitting my thing. So in my mind, that was like one of the combos where I was like, okay, it gives me more sustainability even if I end up leveling late and I can get to the Isosphere. I also had the 2 Destinies in there, one for location and one for equipment to help me get there. And that was pretty much it. It's, play as aggro as I can, level up Avalanche as fast as I can, get most people to either 4 or 5, and then pull off his second superpower. And then every time I play a resource, I blow up one of yours. So this happened in a couple games where my opponents were stuck at 4 resources. And they would play the 5th one, play a card, and then next, my turn, I'm blowing up the resource. They're stuck at 4. So really eliminating any of the higher threats that would come by making sure I can get my level off, which surprisingly was easier to do than I thought it was going to be, except in certain matchups.
So we talked about deck. We had an idea, like I said, he knew my deck for over the year. For the last few months, so he was fully familiar. I talked about his deck, So the pair come up, and we are paired up round 1.
Yeah, round 1.
So if you wondering, I just had to put. I didn't know what to put in the background. We didn't want to show our faces, we don't. So we might want to go play Pac-Man over on the console or something.
You never know.
On the game cabinet or something. So we didn't want to do nothing, but so I just had to play it in the background. So we're gonna talk about this game. So going into the game, I'm looking at him like, you're not gonna level.
Yeah.
And he like, man, I think I'm just going to scoop, man. I'm going to scoop. So the table. So the streamer will always gonna screen table 4. But Osh was supposed to play at table 4. He had his own recording device. Right. So nobody I won't put somebody on screen. He said, "F y'all again." So
hey, we trying to keep you included, Mills. That's why we doing recap. We doing it for people like you, man.
So we did. He might be the only 2 people. You might be the only one watching, but that's good. It only take one.
Right, that's right. Take one. And you better stay tuned in. I'll tell you that now.
We got a whole new tip for you. This actually a prime recording tip for you.
For you. Don't say we ain't never did nothing for you.
He said a subtle flex on fact. It's fact, man. We ain't like downstairs playing the NBA jam upstairs with the golden tee,
we chilling right now. You chilling.
So the first game,
people say I had no intention of losing, but I also had no intention of winning. That doesn't sound like it makes sense, but the situation that I was in, knowing his deck, I was not leveling. I knew I wasn't gonna level, and like I just told you, I was trying to play a plan contingent on keeping resources down and being able to level and do the things that I wanted to do at level 2.
So I'm going first. So we're gonna kind of recap the game for me. Like I said, I had played in the background. He had me scared. Like I think I never not want to lose it. Usually I play Tevin, if I win or lose, it's cool, that was a, but I couldn't lose this game and drive him back 45 minutes. He would talk shit, and I would have to allow it. He would just stare at me the whole time. I've been driving like, could you please stop looking at me? You don't even look at this. I'll just stop looking at me with a smile. So
it's gonna be smoke in the city if I win this game.
I was talking so annoyed, but especially I went first. I had 2 secondary mutations. So I got Berserk and Lethal.
Yep, Berserk and Lethal off the rip.
I got Berserk and Lethal with that. Yeah, so I got pretty fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we ain't gonna give you the play by play, but I got pretty fast. But at one point, he found a comment. I didn't realize it was a thing until he happened. So then he played a Vanish. He played a Vanisher. He played a Dark Hole. He had Forge out. Forge been out like the whole game.
Yeah, Forge invented almost the whole entire stat. So I only had 7 inventions, but Forge was getting busy. He was pretty protected in the back because Wolverine was having 1 or 2 attacks at the most. This is before he got all the way leveled up. So even if you look at the screen right now, you can see I played the Vanisher, and the decision that I had to make was I had the Dark Hole, and you got to play it to an evil character. But I had Magma too. So I was like, do I wait and play it on Magma or try to wait till I have enough resources to play it on Magma? Or do I get it out early and see if there's anything that we can do? Because I really was thinking, all right, I'm going to use it to double pump with always attack and make sure I get a stun. Use someone like Lorelei, try to manipulate his front and back end so that I can play a boiling point if he was to test swing into or whatever it's going to be. But I invented the gadget, and Darkhold was on Vanisher. And he just told you he's playing a glass cannon deck with not really a lot of supporting characters. So if you can read between the lines, that spells trouble for good old Wolverine.
And if you're looking at the board, you probably can't see all three, but the machine is online and giving a support character +2/+2. So I mean, even when I looked at this board game, so I ended up getting another secondary mutation that got me flight. Mm-hmm. So I had 3 new keywords on board, but it's like if I attacked any of the threats, I knew he would just cancel the combat. Mm-hmm. And I knew I didn't have no artifact. He didn't know I had artifact. So I'm like, okay, I need to hit somebody that he made. Like, okay, sure, but yeah, but then he started hitting me, and I'm like, I don't think I could hit him ever again. I mean, because he could keep me playing the gadgets.
Yep.
So,
and mind you, Magma and Vanisher were shooting because of the machine for 17. Because she was a 3/1 +5, and Magma went up to 12. So we're pretty protected in the back. I got an Unis and I had a green up. I had the automation with shrink and all that going for me. So in my mind, I'm thinking I got a great front row. I got people in the back row who can shoot and get it done. He doesn't have dodge. And I'm inventing every turn with Forge. We have the machine online. I still have Darkhold in play. And I got a gadget in hand. So I'm stacked in my mind.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm going to have to take him back to my house. I'm going to have to put him outside like Flair Flintstone. And knocking on the door like, Wilma!
Right?
But so I was going into. I had the 5 wounds. I had 4 wounds. So like I said, and I had the 4 wounds. So I made the decision was like I said, you seen the late game. But then I got to my 5th wound. I built my flag like there was only one card in my deck that could help me, and I drew it, which was the
yeah, that stand together hurt too, because that's what made me have to use the gadget. Yeah. But I mean, I still had it. Yeah.
But it made you spend the green because if you knew I had it, yeah.
I would have had it green up, yeah.
So like I said, I was like, I can't get back and he could stop any attack I made. But I'm like, on my next draw at this point, I had the 5 wounds. I'm like, if I don't draw Deadpool, I lose. Because Deadpool, luckily, like I said, he didn't have also when he played a Dark Hole, he played on the smaller character, but Deadpool could impulse hit him with. Yeah. I mean, this end of the game, I mean, that's what I think about. Like, man, this was a real smart way I ended up doing this.
Right,
I think
absolutely, because I wasn't even looking at the Lokes that he had down, thinking that he had stuff up that I should be concerned with. But I also was in my mind thinking I got a hell of a front row, and I got all these other characters. I put a Sage down. I'm like, dude, I should be good to go. You know what I mean? So.
I had flight. So no flight.
Yeah,
I had flight in Berserk was when I had your game. I had flight in Berserk.
Right.
And then I got lethal.
Lethal ended up coming into play. You had 3.
Yeah, I had 3. Yeah, I had 3. So lethal. I see the 1 and the 3 over there. So I'm thinking about scooping at this point. To be honest with you, but I'm like, we streaming this. Let's just go ahead and play this out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and so I'm like, okay, if we here now, I need a Deadpool. I really, really, really need a Deadpool. He even put Sage in the jet, like that gave her extra flight. Like you want flight, you got super flight now.
Top flight of the world, Craig.
But he had the only character he could actually put in there at that point. So then I played the red like cool, like, and then they're going to end post Deadpool was.
That was the play of the game because even though she had the machine on her, her butt was not big enough to stop a fourth strike.
And then this next play, so I'm like, okay, I got it. So I still know he got that gadget in hand. There's no fact he got it in hand. I'm like, I gotta get it out of hand. If I could get that gadget out of hand, I could go on a killing frenzy.
Yep. And I forgot that Wolverine had flight. So I'm thinking I can burn the gadget to keep Unis from going down.
And on time because we got both of them.
Yeah. Because we would have got both. I could keep him from going down.
I wasn't even supposed to get a wound. I didn't put in a wound, but I shouldn't have because you removed yourself.
I did remove,
from combat.
So you still had another turn.
Yeah.
So I throw the gadget.
I did right, but then eventually, and then I go to killing frenzy.
And he's got flight, people. So guess what he does? Go ahead, give me Lorelei.
No, I still their Sage was still in the way first.
Oh, right. Sage was in the way. So then.
Yeah, because I thought like, oh shit, I forgot Sage was there. Like, but I had plot twists.
Yep.
I always got plot twists.
Yeah, with this deck, you always gonna have a plot twist. So, boom, was it Unwavering? I don't know.
So I got Berserk. Yep. Yeah,
Unwavering, Berserker, Unwavering. Sage can't handle it. Oh, guess what? He's got lethal. Get the hell off the board. Sage, hurry up and get the hell off the board. Now, mind you, I have an always attack in hand, but that's it. So, boom, gone. Guess what? Now, give me some of Lorelei. Guess what? She's gone. Get the hell off the board. Get off the board. Yep, you're gone. All right. So now, what he just did was he gave himself artificial choose your own destiny. All right. Now go ahead and give me some of that forge. Yep. Give me some of that forge right now.
I gotta go to MC first. I think I went to MC first because he was small. No, okay, yeah.
Took the forge. Yeah. Now forge is gone. Okay. Now you can go ahead and give me that MC. Yep. Oh, yeah, because Sage was gone, so the blackboard was gone. Ticking up again. Now, mind you, literally, my board was stacked. I had no problems. All right. That's not going to work out. Yeah, you can go ahead and give me some of that magma, too. Because guess what? I'm too big to be touched now. Go ahead. Tell her to go home and comb her hair. Get her off the board. And I don't know what I'm thinking about. Oh, this was the only time that I could have gotten him back. Because magma was a 12, and I had always attack. I played it to go to 15. Your butt was not at 15 yet.
Yeah, 5 plus 8 is 13.
Yeah, so I was like, bet. This is the only time that I can strike him back.
Defend the weak.
Put 3 on the butt. Now he's at 16. I have nothing else in my hand that's going to help. So guess what? Magma gets to go join her friends in the KO pile. Get up out of here. And I was so hot. I was like, where's my... I wish I had a power up anything. Unis, no green, out of here. Right? Should have shrunk, but it don't matter.
I went to the machine.
Yeah, you took the machine and then left her up there. Yeah.
So
and there goes the ball game.
That's how the game is. So I said, so let's go ahead and go through. You want to go through your rounds first, and then
yeah.
So it was 16 players, 4 rounds. Go ahead. So this game was 0-1.
So I lost this game, but I had way more game than I thought I was gonna have, and I was able to find that gadget combo. So I was like, you know what? I got a fighting chance. Now there were a lot of good MCs out there. So my second game, I played Sean. I played Sean.
Keeves. Cards he hates.
Yes, cards he hates. Keeves. Shout out to Keeves. And I sit down, I pull myself out and my cards out, and Keeves is playing the new Juggernaut. New Brotherhood Juggernaut. And this was a terrible matchup for him because he needs the training grounds to hit to level. So he won the roll. I'm thinking, all right, I know what I got to do. He won the roll. Turn 1, plays the training ground. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Of course, he's going to get the God draw and level and all the rest of this stuff. But fate did not go his way after that. So he got, the early stun. I think after that, I definitely hit the Reds and had him playing face down Lokes until I leveled. I know I boiling pointed him on a vital attack too and was able to get another stun. And he was just basically on the ropes since then because I was able to get the consecutive Reds. He had to play resources so that he could play cards. I leveled, and then I immediately was able to do the blue and green and then play a resource every time. So Keeves got stuck at 4 resources. And he did end up leveling Juggernaut, I think, on turn 5 or 6 because I didn't have a red. But it was kind of like too little, too late. We just beat him to the races. I was able to pull him to the front with Samurai and get the job done. He didn't have face-up resources. I played the Isosphere, and he couldn't recover from that. So we were able to win that one. My next game...
I'll go do my game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he mentioned each other for president, your brother.
Well,
like,
guess what he just got? Impeached. Okay?
So, Judge has in titties?
Because I vote for that.
But so we'll do my round. We'll go back and forth. So my round 2 because spoiler alert. This ride is going to collide again.
Spoiler alert.
So for round 2, I had PJ. I play all Buckeye people. There's just so many of these events I go to. It'd be everybody in the world, and I pay the same 4 people I play all the time. So I played PJ, and he was on Toad. And yeah, that was a beating. I mean, because he didn't get a turn. He didn't play character turn 1 or 2. And I could get 7. 7 is not that far out my realm of thing.
Right.
And then he got Unis. So he put Unis up front, the smaller Unis.
Right. The 10 one? Yeah.
Yeah, the 10 one.
Unis the untouchable. Yeah.
And every time he went Unis to me, this and that.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for the counter. See you later, bro.
Right. And yeah, so I mean that was a pretty clean, straightforward game. But now you go ahead and go with 3. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, no worries. So then I played Bam from Apex, from Team Apex.
Team Apex for the win.
For the win. Team Apex for the win.
Say the whole thing.
Play Bam.
Time.
My next
team?
No. So Bam was playing the House of X Cyclops. So I was like, all right, he's a 4-3. We might have to maneuver to get things done. I definitely wanted him to play resources face down and keep the blues off the table so that I don't have to worry about the double attack. Now, Bam just ran into a very, very, very bad string of luck as to where I was able to get those resources. Yeah.
Bad string of luck,
because, Cyclops was a 4-3, and everybody I was putting down was able to get it done. So I think Lorelei solo stunned him once. We team attacked Vanisher and Avalanche and was able to get him, even though it was giving him 2 XP. And I want to say out of the first 5 or 6 turns, I stunned him 4 times. And then at that point, we had a board where it was just, I had a Sage, a Wolverine, and Avalanche, and he had a Sage, a Wolverine, and Cyclops. And I was able to daze one of his characters, I think with a Banshee play, and just go over and get him. It wasn't anything he could do on that. Like I said, he wasn't drawing the cards he needed, and I was able to level and get what I needed on the board to continue to keep stunning him. So it's kind of like one of those, everything played out in my favor. It wasn't like, he didn't have any of the plot twists he needed. He had a couple plot twists. He would have stood a chance, but it was, we were able to just play the cards and get the wounds and win the game. So hats off to him. He played a good game. He just, he had to play the cards he had in his hand. That was it. So
for my round 3, so I like I said, I'm still 2-0 going in this game. So I played against the new Wolverine with the old. What was funny, like I said, the funny thing about my game. So I was playing against the new Wolverine. The game next to us were the old Human Torch against the new Human Torch.
So,
rivals. Spoiler: old school better than new school, apparently. So So I was playing on Kevin Butcher, another Ohio player. He popped up here and there. When time for events, he seemed to pop up here and there. So he had to do Wolverine. He haven't been around, so he didn't know what my deck was playing. So like turn 3, you didn't play no resource. I did not play a resource. It was like he had 3 resources. I had just the one down. I had Deadpool in my opening hand, so I did put 1 resource because let me just start. So this game I don't think I got on Berserk from the Mutant, but either way I had the plot twist to answer almost everything. The new so no, what happened was I went first, so I stunned him and I powered up, and then he get attacked. He only get XP when he solo attack. So for 3 turns, 2 turns he ran his Wolverine into mines.
XP, yeah.
Yeah, but he got stunned. He was getting stunned, and I got nothing out of it. Then when he leveled, I was still able to stun him again.
Right.
So by the time he got to 5, he put him in the bag. But Sage could never get to me because I would always have some answer to pump myself. And then he had Logan in the deck, and I always had good hands to cover that. So if you haven't had a Sonic Icy before, woo! I know I'm not a spokesperson for them, but
you trying to get sponsored?
mid conversation.
Trying to get sponsorship. Oh, we got a new flavor called Buckeye Blue.
But you talking? Yeah. So when I'm gonna turn 4, damn, that's good.
Oh. Hey, I'd hire you.
But no, but yeah. So he says Wolverine. Once he, like I said, if you're not familiar with the deck, you're not used to seeing nobody play a deck without characters. So it takes you a while to figure out, oh shit, he don't have no character. He got a fistful of plot twists. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, he's played so many plot twists. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, so that was how that game went. So now we went into the final round.
Yeah, so my last round was against the Kevin as well, the Wolverine. And I was thinking, I was like, all right, if he don't got ways to pump himself up, I won't be in too much trouble. I should be okay. But I was not hitting my Lokes. Good, lucky for me, he wasn't hitting Lokes either. So he was rolling, and I ended up leveling naturally. He was getting early stuns in, he wasn't stunning me, but he was attacking for the XP because he was a 4-3 and I was just a 2-5, and he was able to keep my board pretty clear. But as we were getting later into the game, after I leveled, I started to become more of a problem for him to get me down solo. And I think the one pivotal play was I ended up getting a Dark Hole on a Vanisher. All right, no Sonic. But
I'm about to take another sip.
that jerk got some comeback in it, dude. He said, almost died. Let me get one more sip. But he's fine. He's all right, everybody. But he was going to take down my Sage. And he swung in with his main, and he had 4 wounds. And I had, I was cautious of doing this, but I did it again. But I had played a Vanisher, put the Dark Hold on it, and I had to always attack. He swung in to take out my Sage because he had 10 on the front. And I played always attack on Sage twice and was able to get the mutual stun. And after that, he couldn't recover. It was I had a Sage, I had a couple of hitters out, and we were gonna be able to get to finish the game easily. But he did get me bad because he played a stand together the first time that I tried to get him to do the resource, and I was like, all right, whatever. So then I leveled. Now, mind you, he had a Sage and he had his main up. I had a Sage, I had my main, and I had another character, and I friggin' tried to do Avalanche's second power with the blue and the green, and he played stand together again. And all I had to do was use my Sage to take a character down and would have went through. So I wasn't able to blow up his resources. I was pretty pissed about that. But I was, again, able to play Isosphere, and he didn't have resources to pay for the Battle of Wills. So I was good from that standpoint and pretty much closed the game out. So I ended up winning that and going 3-1, where my only loss was to date.
Right, so my last round was against Rollin, and I had talked intimately about this deck with him. And he remember all parts about the intimate conversation. Because he played the old Human Torch. I mean, he played the old Human Torch, but so Roland do not have the best luck against me. It's like I always get the car I need and I pull up to win. But I knew I was the underdog going into this, but and I was correct. So
He was the
so I don't know how many people listen to this play versus, but Kane do not go in the back row. And every time I say he did not he didn't put a support carry in the front row. You can see him playing the game now. I mean, pretty much how his board look at how it looked against me. And like I said with Wolverine, like I said, so he played this small, so he kept the character in back. So I kept an open hand that had 2 concealed firearms. So while we're hoping for it, he got greedy. He wanted to put counters on Solo, shooting at Wolverine. But he was wearing my deck, so he like, I'm gonna go see a Human Torch here. Like, oh. Then he got his second blue. He's like, I'm send him in again. No, he leveled, and then he sent Solo in after Human Torch level where I was gonna get back there anyway. And yeah, he wiped the floor with me. That game is on here, but it would take me too much time to precisely find where that 2 minute of gameplay falls at on this video. But yeah, I got smoked and I went 3-1. But we did have a top 4.
Yes, we did.
And so it would end up being Rollin at 1, me at 2, Tevin at 3, PJ at 4.
Yep.
Now for all y'all who really good with brackets, 1 play 4 and 2 play 3. So that leaves. Okay, hater alert. Somebody was disappointed that they were 3-1 didn't get in.
Yes.
But I would leave that for a different day. But I did have to throw the hater alert because I did not have to bring that up. I didn't. But I did. We love everybody in the community. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to point no elbows or nothing. I'm not going to say he even won the Gen Con event before. I'm not going to go there because that would be out of line and that'd be hater-aid. I mean, I don't think I'm in the runner for Hater of the Year, but I do get calls here and there like it's on. It's slick back drop out. No, it's a Pimp Nation bet. If he drop out, we got you in there. So,
right.
So yeah. So now let's talk about. They're putting on longer than I thought, but it's having a good time.
Right.
Yeah. So we didn't record our top 4 game, but so we matched up against each other. I was the higher seed, so I got to choose who went first. I did.
And it was.
He made a post immediately on Facebook, so I guess I did not. He's talking about us. I haven't looked on Facebook, so okay. Thanks for that update. That what you talking about? But either way, we got our research team on this. Hold on, we got our research team. We want to thank our research team, who is the Black Knight. So you'll see in the label that we had a breakdown. Earl broke it down for him on the thing. Right. And also I want to point out before we talk about our final game, our sponsor, the Black Knight. If you wanted to, so Tevin is the Black Knight 1,
right,
with THA. But if you see the Black Knight, that was our team name when we did a boss battle.
Right.
Because I was like, what name do you come up with? Well, I'm D Rob. He the Black Knight. Let's just put that D in front of you, let him take the credit. We end up winning it, of course. Of course.
Of course. That's what we do.
I mean, boss battles. I mean, when you hear boss, who the first 2 people you think of?
Right.
Yeah. So we bought the Facebook post and thank you, Emil. That is an accurate account. He said Earl got him together. I mean, Scott was ready to lock it down for him. He wrote it down on paper. He got spreadsheets. He got it in a PowerPoint.
Right.
So if you ever wonder about that, there's a PowerPoint for that. But I will look at that later. Put the D in front, crazy. See, you like it's mostly his name, but you see who was at the front. See, I like to hide in the shadows. I actually like to hide in plain sight. So it's the Black Knight.
Right.
I did
that together quickly.
So,
all right.
So yeah, I guess I thought was it, but yeah, I didn't know he went live on it. So okay, so all right, let's talk about our game. So I went first. So I say we know who the MCs are. We've been talking about it. If you don't know who the MC are, we wind this, and when you get back up to this point, you be right up to speed.
Good to go. Yep. So
so turn one, I attacked in. I made sure I didn't attack with 5. At no point was my attack 5.
He was definitely over 5 for sure.
So I went in with 6.
Yeah.
So then Tevin played always attacking, but wasn't going to stun me. But get actually like, why are you playing this always attacking for 1 defense? And then he asked me, are you going?
I said, do you have a response?
Do you have a response? We had played a lot of verses. I don't think you had ever asked me that question before.
So of course he said, hell yeah, I got a response. Unwavering loyalty.
But the sad part of the story is how shortly we forget things. So then
he stunned me.
So I get the stun, and I get him down like cool, and I'm like, oh, I think you might have a bowling point in here. That is good to know.
Right.
So next turn, he played a little lot. I didn't have no count on me. I used the red to pump up, and then
the skirt, yeah.
Yeah, and then I did something else to get to 7.
It was unwavering.
I thought it was an unwavering PowerPoint. I mean, a power up.
A power up. It was a power up because you did that twice.
Yeah, okay.
It was a power up.
No, it wasn't a power up that time. I think it was unwavering because Lorelai got me the next turn.
Right. It was unwavering.
So then on turn 2, you play Lorelai, and you attack me, and I'm gonna take you down one by one. Was put me at 2 attacks. So it was enough for us to me, and not enough for me to clear.
Right.
So
yeah,
but I'm like, I'm cool. You can take me down, sweetheart. You can take me down. I'll be back for that date a little later to fix you.
Keep it warm. I'm coming right back.
But well, you would think this turn was like a half hour later, and I didn't remember what's going on. So I come back like, okay, so I'm gonna swing the Lord. I had a counter on him. Right? No, I did not have a counter.
No counter.
I did have the counter.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I swung in, and I like, okay, what are you gonna do with Lorelai? Because Lorelai get to make the decision.
Right. He's like, you have to decide first.
Yeah. So you thought about like, and he's like, yeah. You said comes in like, okay, I'm gonna do 1 and 1. So I'm like, haha, I got you, power up. And then a split second later, my brother like, you about to get bowling point, right?
You know you done messed up, right?
you know you
done messed up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So of course I get bowling point. Like I can't believe that. I knew it was.
I'll take that freebie. Yes, I will.
So it was another back and forth game. We both were down to our one rule away, but so I let him talk about the last assist. So I was at level 3. You didn't have no character. Yeah, you didn't have no character on the board.
So he's at level 3, and it was I had a Wolverine,
and I was face down.
Yep,
because
face down.
I traded. Who did I trade with?
You had to do it. It was.
I know I had to do it.
Yeah, but I forgot who you traded. But here's was the board. It's Wolverine face down on level 3. I have a 2 wounded Wolverine and my main. I draw 2 cards. In my hand, I have a Samurai, I have a Nullifier, and I have the Helmet of Immunity. I know that he's playing a Glass Cannon deck.
And you see the greens.
And I see that he has the greens up. So my options are play Samurai, who has Combat Master. He's in front. If Wolverine swings in, he's a 9/8 and can't play any plot twists. I would win the battle because he would have to self-stun. And I still have Wolverine as a blocker too. Or because he plays the green, he stuns Wolverine. He comes back up. He didn't have Berserker, so I wasn't worried about that. But he stuns Wolverine. He goes ready. And then he would be able to go into Surfer. Or I could hope that he does not have an X Factor plot twist and become redundant and play the Nullifier, taking away the Killing Frenzy, and then play the Helmet of Immunity, calling green. So I gambled and I took the option of Nullifier, Helmet of Immunity. I called green and I took away Killing Frenzy so that he would not have a chance to ready when he's stunned unless he had an X Factor. And I couldn't play a character because of the Nullifier costing and I didn't have enough to play Samurai at both. And so I played those both. I could left Wolverine in the front and then I passed turn.
I had 2 X Factors. But the thing is, just to put him at ease, I did put Wolverine into the uniform.
Yeah, he did put the uniform on.
So Silver Samurai still wouldn't have had
enough.
But still got taken out, but he still would have been around next turn. Right. So I mean, I had X Factor in hand. I ended up drawing another one. So
it was so funny. He swings into Wolverine, and then he just slowly turns the X Factor over in his hand. And I was like, I knew you was going to have it. I knew it. But, like you said, we were both, it was on our last move. So, Avalanche definitely had way more game than I thought he would. He was able to pull out some utility plays based off of the combos that were in the deck and had sustainability, keeping people from being able to play what they really wanted. So, if those were the 2 losses I had, then I'll take it. So
then the last game, so the last game I played against, Raleigh got Human Torch to the end again. So I mean, I feel like I'm a nice person. I want to punch him. I did. I mean, so I can play this turn. No, this is past. Yeah, so this is turn. This is turn when he went first. He had the high seat. So I sent Wolverine in. He got 1 counter because I stand to get his first blue. So I go again. I play. So that makes him a 3/5. Mm-hmm. So I swing in and I play the power. That's the power. Yeah, that's the power because I'm going for a dice. And I have lethal, which I don't think make it do. And then I played another power. So okay, I got enough to stun you. What you gonna do? And look at him. Oh, stand together.
Peel it.
Unwavering loyalty. Mm-mm. So
he played that out. He pulled that off like he was a blackjack dealer. He just knew you wasn't messing with him.
Yeah, and like I say, he willing to get in the blue, so he's like, okay, he get the K in the back, but like I say, he's not putting nobody up front for me. He only got blues in the deck, so he gonna get a blue. And like I said, I don't think I had a second stand together yet. No, I didn't have a second stand together here. But I'm like, okay, I think I can still hit him again next turn. So yeah, it happened again. Long story short, he have another stand again. He have another shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like I said, he played the K, he get the blue, put it in hand, he shuffled some card, man, we watching it seems like he shuffled slow, don't it? Like, come on, we trying to talk about this.
Right. You over here slow playing the
What you doing?
Right. That's funny.
So I cut like, okay, he playing like I ain't got enough for the stand again, so cool. You got the blue they just got with K, like, yeah, be good. And I think I good hands this because I want to keep my 2 counters so I can swing again. They ain't like how they deep thinking they already know the answer to the problem. Right. You ain't thinking about nothing. Oh, he just passed turn. So he don't even take the chance. He just passed turn. And then you see he put the card back down like, haha, I got something for you.
You fallen into my trap card. Or you activated my trap card.
So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go in. Okay, I don't have enough yet. Defend the weak. So I give me 1 more. And then this and that. Like, cool, I got you them cameras off of you now.
Yeah.
And what I want to show it. Let's see. So, yeah. Oh, and then, look, shock.
Yeah. Those hands must have tell me you did want to fight.
Oh, so is that how to let me flip something off the top of my hand?
That is called a middle finger, dude.
And no, I would not tell him he played match.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, man, and solo.
Yeah, that's just like a terrible.
And then, so I said, I tried, and I did one last big attack. So I got my Deadpool down. So I took out the mask and I tried to do a big attack. He's a 10-10. Mm-hmm. So he had a Wyatt? I only had one experience. Yeah, I only had one experience at this point. So I'm going on. I didn't team attack because I suicide him and then he fantastic for the game is over. So yeah, that's how it played out. So I ended up losing, coming in second place. So he get the big card they end up giving me. We're gonna do. We traded for a player to be named later.
Right.
One of those deals. We got some side prize, but it was a good time.
Very good time.
This was a fun draft. I think every Buckeye event we may have this going forward for ever and ever. I mean, just like I said, when I play the draft, it's gonna be nice to see it. Thanks for hanging out with us, Tim. I think there was somebody else, but they haven't typed. But
no doubt.
But we got events tomorrow, so we're gonna get ready to wrap this up.
Yeah. Gotta hit the hay so we can be fresh.
Right. So we will be streaming. Sonic got some good ice.
Yeah, he went right back. It might kill you, but it might not.
But yeah, so we're gonna be streaming the game. So I recorded a few games. I will have some more games from the draft, but I will not be recording them all. Osh gonna be streaming. I think Sale streaming. Yeah, tomorrow encouraging.
Where the big dogs come.
We may have some commentating tomorrow, so we got people that may be commentating for us. So that be what's up. But yeah. So you got any last one?
Nah, man. Just thanks for watching. I encourage everyone to come. This regional has been phenomenal so far, and it's been 17 people again for a side event that's outside of Gen Con is a lot in my experience. So happy everybody came. If you're still traveling to get here, be safe. Be looking forward to playing, cards with everybody tomorrow.
All right. Well, you heard him. You have a good night. And like I said, if the time's right and everything for it, we may be doing a recap tomorrow.
I see you tomorrow.
I won't be saying much because if I talk about playing, you
might catch me with a big card tomorrow. So hold up.
So, if you get a big card, we won't be streaming because he can be partying. It'll be a good time. If you win that, we won't be streaming tomorrow. Yeah. But you would know.
Yeah. So
we'll say best of luck. I will do the best judging I possibly can. Thank you. There you go.